Good afternoon, and thank you so much for clicking and watching. I'm WPTV's Josh Navarro, talking on a very important topic today. Mask mandates and vaccine requirements are hot button issues right here in the state of Florida and across the nation. And Florida Atlantic University just came out with a poll that shows a majority of Floridians supporting masking and vaccine requirements. Joining me today to talk further about this poll is Dr. Monica Escalares, founder and director of Business and Economics Polling Initiative at the College of Business at FAU. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, George, for inviting me to this interview, and I'm looking forward to discuss the results of from our poll.
All right, let's go right into it. Your poll on allowing parents to decide if their children should wear masks indoors at schools. What were you guys able to find within that topic?
Yes, we found that around 50% of the respondents support the idea that parents should be the ones deciding for the kids to send them with masks or not to school. However, around 66% of the respondents support the recommendation from the CDC suggesting that individuals, regardless of their vaccination status, to wear masks indoors at schools.
Is this numbers different from when school started about a year ago? You know, the virus among kids weren't as prominent as what we're seeing right now with the Delta variant. What were the numbers in comparisons to this time last year when school started?
Well, remember that last year it was a requirement for students to wear masks. So we really don't know how parents felt. We didn't make a poll asking parents or individuals about the idea of parents deciding for their kids to send them with mask or not. But what I do have to say, as you just mentioned, is that the Delta variant is a new variable that is important at this time because it is affecting children.
When you guys do these types of polls, where do you guys conduct these polls? Who do you guys usually ask?
Sure. We use two modes of data collection. We use landlines. So we make phone calls and as robocalling. So it's an automatic calls with like recorded questions. And then the other one is using cell phones, because what we're trying to do is to get as closer as we can to a representative sample.
All right, joining us is Dr. Monica Escalares, founder and director of Business and Economics Polling Initiative at the College of Business at Florida Atlantic University. If you're just joining us today, this afternoon here on Facebook Live, Dr. Escalares, talk to us a little bit about what your poll showed as far as parents wanting to get their children vaccinated in that age group that is not yet available for them, whether or not they're going to do it or not.
Yes, it was very interesting to see that parents are very eager to have their kids vaccinated. So let's talk first about those that are able to get vaccinated right now, that is between the ages of 12 to 18 years of age. We find out that close to 76% have either had been vaccinated or they're planning to have their kids been vaccinated. Regarding for the kids that are the ages between 6 and 11 years old, parents are indicating that as soon as the vaccine comes available, 85% of those parents will get their kids vaccinated.
So you're seeing a bigger support from parents getting their children vaccinated in order to protect them from the virus versus, because, you know, we do hear a lot of back and forth on parents on both sides of the fence. What is the majority amount, I guess, that from the polling that you guys have conducted recently?
Yes, so from our sample, we had 131 parents for kids the ages 12 to 18. So the statistic that I just gave you is from that subsample. And then for kids ages 6 to 11, we have a subsample of 118. So there are small samples. I hope in the future we can go ahead and conduct a poll that is just directed towards parents, because in this poll there were only 4 questions that we were asking. Okay, are you a parent or guardian of kids of this age group?
Okay, let's move on to vaccination requirements. You guys also did a poll regarding that topic. What were you guys able to find, whether or not is it required within students at the university and in schools? What did you guys were able to find in your polling?
Okay, in our polls, we did find that 67% of Floridians support that universities require students to get the vaccine. Also, we found that Floridians support businesses. Around 65% of Floridians want businesses to require or allow businesses to request or require that their employees be vaccinated. And I think that is important, especially in the point of view from businesses, because they have to protect their employees. So far here in the state of Florida, there is a ban for employers or for businesses to require proof of vaccination from customers. So a way for them to protect their employees is to require their employees to be vaccinated, of course, with certain exceptions.
And what are some, you're also a professor of economics. What does vaccination requirements can do, or what is the impact as far as the local economy that we'll see? Because obviously the state doesn't seem like we're going to go into a complete shutdown because of the Delta variant and the increase of COVID cases. But what is the impact economically for businesses if the vaccine is required or not?
I think for businesses, if the vaccine is required, it will be helpful because people will feel safer to go out and consume. What we don't want is to, like you said, shut down the economy. And one way to prevent that is to have as many people as possible vaccinated.
All right, let's talk about airlines and cruises. Vaccination could be required within those industries to, like you mentioned, protect people from contracting the virus. What were you guys able to find within that poll?
We found that there is a strong support for airlines to request proof of vaccination as well as cruise ships.
And what about large sporting events and entertainment, like concerts and music festivals?
The same thing. We found a majority of Floridians supporting the requirement to prove vaccination. The one that we saw that the lowest support was for dine-in, for customers to show their vaccination status for dine-in in restaurants. And I think my takeaway of why is that is because you as a customer can have the choice of eating outside, correct? So in the case of planes, you have to be just indoors in the plane, but for dining, you can be dining outside. So I guess Floridians feel that there is not such an, it's not so important for restaurants to require proof of vaccination from customers.
All right, let's get over to the Delta variant. A majority of Floridians say they are concerned about the strain of COVID-19. What are some of your polling showed if they received the vaccine or plan to get the vaccine now that there is a variant within the community?
Right. So around 64% of the respondents said that they're concerned about the variant. But the good news is that we found that 8 out of 10 Floridians have received the vaccine, and only around 6% say that they will not get the vaccine. So we have a pretty high number of people being vaccinated or planning to get the vaccine. And I think if we continue with this Delta variant and more cases, I think those numbers are going to go up. I really think. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I think that overall people are becoming more conscientious that the vaccination is the way to go.
I guess what is the big takeaway from your poll? A lot of people are they changing their minds? Are in support of all the masking and the vaccines? What is the big takeaway from what you guys have researched and the outcome of your poll?
Sure. I think there is several takeaways. The first one is that Floridians are supporting some type of COVID-19 requirements. as we saw, businesses, universities, airlines, cruise ships, you name it. Also, I find that some parents or Floridians feel like maybe we should let parents make the decision to send their kids with masks to school or not. But also, it's important to see that parents are encouraged and eager to get their kids vaccinated. So parents, they want the best for their kids. They don't want their kids to be sick. So I personally don't think that they're opting for not sending their kids with masks to school. But also I feel that parents want to have that right to decide.
And what's next with your polling initiative over there at the College of Business at Florida Atlantic University? Are you guys going to be taking another sample now that school has started and now things are starting to truck along this fall?
Definitely, I would like to continue polling in these important topics regarding this pandemic. I think is a moving target. Maybe our next poll, we don't know what it will be a month down the road. We never thought that this variant will be imposing so many things right now on us. But yes, we will continue with my students polling in this issue.
What would you say to the people who are a bit skeptical about your polls and or those who don't agree with the results that you guys came out with the poll?
I will say we try to use the best practices to collect our sample. It's a small sample, but I think there is some good insight that our polls present. We try to use the best practices to collect our data. We're trying to incorporate landlines and cell phones to get a representative sample. So I'm confident of our results.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Monica Escaleras, founder and director of the Business and Economics Polling Initiative at the College of Business at FAU for this. And if you guys want to learn more about their poll that just came out, you can head to our website, WPTV.com. Thank you, Dr. Escaleras, for joining me today.
Thank you very much for having me.
And thank you guys so much for clicking and watching. We'll see you next time.